Okay, so before you guys say anything, I know my glasses are horrible. These things are ancient at this point, but I just got back from the Porsche and the Toyota Celica GT4. I was looking at my eyes and I was like, man, those are super irritated. I don't know if it's allergies or what, or it could have been just the fact that we worked on the diesel heater yesterday and there was a lot of metal shavings and plexiglass shavings floating around, so maybe I got some of that in my eyes. God, I hope not. That's why I have these on. They're kind of uncomfortable, but I think my eyes definitely needed a break. I usually wear contacts. Mike is on his way over. The plan for today is to simply get the Miata engine and transmission back into the motor mounts. So it's like just those two bolts. That's all I'm asking. And then we'll probably put a jack underneath the transmission to support it for now. But before that happens, I need to put the starter back in, and I might as well just swap out the oil filter since it's easy to access. You're new around here, so I'll go easy on you. Fact is, majority of you who are watching this are not subscribed. What is wrong with you? Why won't you support your boy? You know what would bring a big smile to my face? Is if you hit that subscribe button. See, if you hit that subscribe button, I will personally deliver 6 bottles of fresh milk straight to your door. For the time being, there are no ads on my channel. No sponsors, nothing. So, subscribe while you can, and while you can enjoy this wonderful ad-free automotive YouTube content from yours truly. Thanks, and back to the video.
You know, because they're so dangerous, these 1.6 liters.
Oh god.
Yeah, you've got so much torque, so they'll throw you right off.
They've got so much torque that the chassis twists on the line.
Yeah. Well, you gotta ride it like a bolt, you know.
We got the transmission and engine mounted back together. Required us to clean out some of the bell housing bolt areas. Some of those threads were getting pretty bound up, and they were very dirty. Now, I'm just gonna torque that down, and I think after that it's pretty much ready to go back in.
It's ready.
Yes.
So the zip tie method, huh, Marty?
Yes. I'm trying my best.
Okay, so quick update for you guys. Last time that you saw this, Mike and I were working on it pretty late, and basically we ended up giving up on it for the night because we had worked on it for quite a while. We kind of just talked amongst ourselves. Decided it would be good to give Jake a call because he seems to know a couple of just like tips and tricks just to make things easier when doing anything Miata related. So he came over last weekend and helped us fix a problem. So when Mike and I were installing this engine, basically the whole thing went that way because we got it into one motor mount and actually got it into the second one, but I was looking at it and thought, oh, it's actually not in, so we ended up removing it out of that motor mount and could not get it back in, which was very annoying. So the whole engine was kind of just cattywampus slightly that way. So called Jake, had him come over, cranked the leveler one way, and he hit it with a crowbar and a hammer a couple of times, and it eventually sank in, which is fantastic. Oh yeah, and I would really like to get some gold tape heat reflecting stuff on the exhaust. I'm not going to do that quite yet. I don't have the original shield on there because these tabs kind of broke off on this one. The plan is today to get those motor mounts tightened all the way and then start putting back together the transmission support brace and the drive shaft and the exhaust. If we can get further than that, that would be awesome. But yeah, those are the three things that I would really like to get back in today. One thing that Jake said to do was to hit this with some PB Blaster, some WD-40, run the nut of the motor mount up and down that once or twice, and then hit it with some Loctite, because we did impact this one a couple of times with the crowbar to get that to sink in. So I'm gonna follow that advice for sure. Alright, motor mounts in. That is great. And next thing that we're gonna do is the transmission support brace. We'll see how that goes. I think I kind of have the bolts in the correct order. We'll see. So that took some convincing on the transmission support brace. It was just kind of getting bound up against the actual transmission. So I just kind of brute forced my way through it. It was just a small little lip that was getting caught. Put the jack underneath the transmission brace and it pushed it up past that, and now I can get that lined up.
Okay, we got this final one right here, which I think is like a 35 foot-pound or something. It's a lot lower than the other ones. Let's take a look-see here. Smaller at 35, yep. Dude, for once, the Miata made me bleed instead of Mike. For once. 35, where you at, my boy? Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, are we at 35 already? Yep, we are. Transmission support brace is on. So, next up, that means drive shaft. Alright, we've got the drive shaft in position. I've got one bolt on it right now. Gonna get another one in. And then we'll torque down those two and move on to the other two.
Ha! Well guys, the drive shaft is back in and the bolts are tight, but on the very last one that I was tightening, of course, the wrench decided to slip, and I freaking completely busted open my thumb. I think I'm gonna work on doing the exhaust now. That shouldn't be as bad, hopefully, but yeah, I just want to get these couple of things underneath the car out of the way, and that way we can work on some of the easier stuff coming up. So Mike had a great idea to use the floor jack and the jack handle to straighten out the radiator upper mount, because we bent it putting the engine in, and it seems to be doing okay.
Okay, go ahead and give it another 20 pumps.
Oh god. Miata is being put back together pretty damn nicely. Our labeling was great for the most part, except some of the Sharpie on the duct tape labels got dissolved because of gas and gear oil, etc. getting on it. It only happened to 2 labels. Wasn't that big of a deal, easy to put it back together. The table where we had everything laid out, that's pretty much done. there's not really anything left on that. What we're gonna try and tackle today, get the positive and negative attached to the starter motor. I don't know where those nuts are. So that might be a problem because we are officially out of hardware. And then need to put the shifter back together. Then I need to go underneath the car. I think for the last time, I'm gonna tighten up the speed sensor a little bit more. And then I'm going to fill up the gear oil. After that, I am gonna follow some preconditioning procedures where we pull the fuel pump relay and then also unplug the cam angle sensor. I guess that just allows the engine to fill up with oil. Gets things lubed up in there, brother. Just ensures as safe of a start as you can get. Usually that's a lot more important on like brand new engines, but I want to take as many precautions as I can. Oh yeah, and then I have to, of course, fill up the engine with oil as well as coolant. But I'm the type of person that always keeps my expectations super low, so I'm betting that there's going to be an issue. But if not, I'm going to be overjoyed. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to roll with a fresh start today, or sorry, a first start today. Man, I am a little bit nervous about it if I'm being honest. Just hoping something doesn't catch on fire, but we do have a fire extinguisher nearby, so. So I thought that we didn't have the starter power bolts, but we do. They are right there. Nice. Don't know how I missed that. Okay, so we got the starter power back on there, I think the right way. There's not many good shots of this, unfortunately, but we've also got the tiny little connector that's black connected right there as well. The part that's sketchy, that guy right there. I have no clue where he's supposed to go, and I really hope that is not a ground, and I hope it's instead just kind of like a wire support bracket. It looks like it is, so I think we're alright. But the other part that's sketchy about this is over here on the table. So we have this bracket right here, which I know was around the starter area, but I don't remember how it went on, or if it's even needed. It's probably needed, but not sure. And then this here, I think might be something for the MAF, but not entirely sure. And same with this. So we have like 3 bracket looking things that are questionable. So some of this might have been for AC, which we deleted. So some of this could have been for the AC condenser and supporting that, but we'll see. So I should probably just start the shifter install now, so that way I can just be underneath the car and get what I need done underneath there. Okay, as you can see, we've made some progress. So one thing that I was a little bit concerned about when I was installing this, like I was sweating about it pretty bad, was getting this like cover, I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but getting this cover to slide over this and down. Turns out just needed a little bit of extra lube on it, and it did the trick. I just had to continually force it down more and more. I was worried that it wasn't going to go past, but it did fine. So we're going to continue tightening some things down. Okay, now I'm just doing these 4 bolts here. Alright, those are in. Next up, it's time to put the center console covering, whatever you want to call it, put the center back in. I think I legitimately got used to sitting in this car without this in there, because like now it feels like I was actually pressing on it to try to get it to go down further. I was like, damn, it feels a lot higher than it should be. Yeah, I'm definitely used to not having this in here at this point. Crazy to say. Well, center console is fully on, tightened down. Next up, this boy. Gotta give it that twist action. Oh.
Man, this thing feels a lot loose. Ooh, reverse is a little unhappy. Man, I wonder why that's still spinning. I don't like that. Nah, I probably shouldn't keep going. Good enough for now. Okay, so now it's time to go underneath the car for hopefully the last time. Do the gear oil and then tighten the speed sensor some more. I'll show you why I'm thinking that the speed sensor needs to be tightened up a bit more. Is that, well, check it out. It's over here. See that? That's all pretty fresh. And it hasn't grown a whole lot, but I'm thinking it's gear oil because there's no way it's the slave cylinder, because this guy is still perfectly at the full level. So that's my only thought. Just want to give it a couple more wrenches and see if this leak stops. Alright, so next thing that I'm doing is putting the gear oil in. It's 2 quarts. Just picked this up from AutoZone, and I think this tube should fit in there perfectly. So that's what we're doing next. So now that I know that everything is secure, I can be out from under the car when I'm doing this, which makes it a lot easier, but that gear oil is really thick, so this hand pump is struggling a little bit, but just gotta go slow. It's time to play that game. One of these is not like the other. So we just got done using the correct gear oil, thank God. I looked at the other one. Wait a minute. That's not gear oil, that's jack oil. That's oil that is strictly reserved for humans named Jack. We don't want that in the Miata. God. See, that's the benefit of taking your time when you're doing these things, is that you notice errors like that. Like dumb errors where it's like, oh, it's the wrong oil. If I was rushing, I don't think I would have caught that. I think I'm even lucky that I caught it now. There's a chance that I might have not even looked at the label and been pumping jack oil into the Miata's transmission. So thank God we started off with the correct one, because I would have to drain the transmission again if I did that. Because to be honest with you, I didn't even look at the labels before I started. So, lessons learned. Okay, we are back with the right stuff. And I got some extra coolant because I think I'm gonna need it. Alright, we are full up with gear oil. I got the fill plug on there and torqued to spec. Now everything is on top of the car, which is nice. So now I'm going to do oil and then coolant. Just do a once over, make sure that all the hoses are plugged in, and then I think we'll be ready to give it a shot. So I was just reconnecting the fuel lines here, and I saw this wire sticking out, and I was like, huh, that looks like a broken wire. And it is. I guess I somehow broke it, but it goes down into, I don't even know what it is, but there's some kind of connection down there on the block. And it had this guy connected to him. And yeah, he broke off. So luckily, this is a common, I guess, wire connector. So I'm gonna go pick up a new one. Alright, I got what I think is the fuel relay unplugged. Everybody online says that it's yellow. That's the only yellow clip that I found in the general vicinity that I was supposed to be looking for. So cross your fingers, hopefully that is correct. Alright, so yeah, we got the coolant pushed throughout the system, and this guy right here was leaking pretty bad. Not the worst, but it was actually this old clamp that just wasn't holding its tension anymore, so
tossed on a new hose clamp on there, and it seems to have stopped it, which is good. I'm going to give it a couple more turns. Those metal hoses of the heater hose definitely saw some hate when I was getting them out, and so they're not perfectly round anymore, unfortunately, but let's keep going. Nothing.
So do you think possibly a dead battery?
Yeah, we can hook up the tender to it, or we could try and jump it. Yeah, I do think dead battery is certainly possible. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I unplugged. Oh, a cam angle sensor. I forgot to turn that back on. Plug that back in. Yeah, I forgot that I unplugged that. I knew I was gonna forget something. Yeah. That's probably why. It's definitely a potential reason. It's definitely got enough lube in there now.
Good. This is normal. I think that's normal. I think it's just burning off shit, but I believe that's normal. Yeah. Okay, so it's sucking in more coolant.
Nice!
Yeah.
That's scary though. Oh my god, that's scary seeing that.
You got hot for the first time in a year for half a second.
But we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, so you got it running.
Yes. Surprisingly.
I wouldn't say surprising. You guys are moving pretty good momentum here.
Does this look like the thing that you use?
That is a timing gun.
Okay, good.
Or a timing light, sorry.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks again for coming by.
Yeah, dude, of course. No, that sounds about right. If this should be about 800. Is it staying put? Like staying in the same spot? That's a good sign.
It sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds much better right now. Yeah. That sounds like a brand new fucking car.
Dude, it does.
Yeah, right. Well, all the time and money you just put into it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to explain kind of how this guy worked. Essentially, this is like a glorified strobe light in a way, and it pulses in a way to where the crankshaft on the Miata kind of looks like it's frozen in time, and there's certain timing marks on there, and so we first had to find the timing mark, hence why we had to use the Sharpie pen to actually make it more visible, so that way it'll be easier to time. And so then what we did was we unbolted the cam angle sensor, or cam position sensor, and you can move that back and forth, and when you do that, the mark on the crankshaft, which is, you know, frozen in time essentially because of the strobe light, you can adjust it, and there's this little dial that is down by the crankshaft, and so you can use that to determine you know, how advanced or how retarded your timing is, and that's how you can dial in your timing without having to redo the belt or anything like that. So the engine's sounding super smooth right now. Turns out we do have a coolant leak of some kind, so I gotta track that down. I think I already know where it's at, and I think I just need to tighten up a bracket, or maybe just need a new hose, I'm not too sure. Potentially the thermostat gasket also needs to be changed out. But we'll see. So it's looking really good. I'm excited.